Welcome to Monday on the Mat. It's March, so it must be time for March Matness. March Matness is a celebration of the original 34 mat exercises that Joseph Pilates created, and it began about 8 years ago. So it's grown since then, and I am going to be introducing you to some of the exercises each week, culminating in the full classical repertoire. So let's get started. The first exercise is the 100. And pretty typically in contemporary Pilates, which is traditionally what I teach, I put the 100 where I want to, sometimes not even using it. So I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways to do the 100, and we'll end again in the traditional manner. So we'll start here, and we'll lift our feet up high enough that we can see them. Externally rotate, heels together, toes apart. Totally optional, but the 100 is done in this sort of first position or Pilates V with the legs extended out. We're actually going to start here at the tabletop, just being able to see the feet. And again, you can go to this external rotation so you can work your way into that extended leg position. So here or here, your call. We're going to pump the arms, and the pumping of the arms is really firm and steady. We want to inhale for 5 of these pumps and exhale for 5. Doesn't always work out that people breathe like that, so inhale as long as you can and exhale as long as you can. Ultimately, the staccato breathing is what sets the 100 apart, really sort of invigorating and bringing blood flow into the body. So here's your head position. We'll roll the head and shoulders up and look right towards the knees. Now this is a 100 that most people can do. However, if you have anything going on with your neck, you might find you need to keep your head down. In which case, the legs can only extend so far before the back begins to pull. So keeping that 100, roll your head and shoulders up if it's available to you. Give me that external rotation. Reach the legs out long and come up a little higher. Lower the legs. The farther down you can go, the more demanding it is. But we don't want our back to pull. So here's your 100. Breathing in for 5. Breathing out for 5. One more. Release. Right from here, we'll go into the rollover, and we're going into the roll up. We'll take the legs down to the mat, and notice how the back feels. Arms reach up to the sky, take a deep full breath in, exhale, gaze towards your knees, roll yourself up, grab those thighs, slide the legs out, and this is your roll up, okay? Roll up has a lot of variation at the top, but pretty typically in a classical environment, we're curved over like so, and then we can roll all the way down. Now rolling down with the legs extended is a bit more doable than rolling up. So if you find you need to roll up, as I demonstrated, we roll up, we grab the legs, we round over. Inhale and then exhale, roll back. Inhale and then exhale, roll up. Smooth as you can, doing what you need to do to make this work for you. One last time, and then we'll get to our roll over. I'm going to have you bring those arms back. Challenge yourself to stabilize the core, draw the belly flesh in, take a breath, exhale, roll yourself up. If you think it's hard, try talking through the whole thing. Round over, breathe in, exhale, dive back down into it, and release those legs. Now, we're going to go one leg up, other leg up, okay? So the rollover option, which I'll get to in a moment, will be an articulating bridge. Otherwise, you're going to lengthen the legs up to the ceiling, and you want to feel nice and neutral through the spine. Okay, I'm going to bring my feet back down and just give you that articulating bridge option. So take in a breath, exhale, drop the navel to the spine, curl the tailbone up, elevate on up to the shoulders, take a breath, exhale, articulate down. Now I give you this because the rollover is a challenging exercise, and also one that traditionally looked a lot like the yoga plow. We don't take it quite that far, although we could, but I like to give you options so that you can stay out of your cervical spine and not be in any risk there, just in case you have anything going on. Otherwise, legs are going to go up. Take a deep, full breath in. This one's challenging. Most of these are. We'll exhale, and we'll roll all the way back. And then we'll get to this parallel leg position, and you can hear I speak pretty clearly. If I drop my legs down and I start to cut off my air passage, you know that I'm getting into my neck here. Okay? We're going to take a breath. Exhale, roll down. Smooth, slow, control. Easier said than done. Take a breath in. Exhale, roll back. Take a breath in. And exhale, roll down. Okay, so from here, we're just going to drop one leg and go right into our single leg circle. Now, I am going to show it a couple of ways as I am with everything, so you have an option. This is the modification. Bottom leg is bent, foot is planted, pelvis is stabilized. Okay, the size of the circle really depends on you. We're going to pause at the top, reverse that rotation. This is how I like to introduce it, and then I go ahead and extend the lower leg, which is more traditional. And you can make the circle as big as you can make it while stabilizing the pelvis. So the goal is not to be rolling around the pelvis, but to really feel that differentiation at the hip joint. All right, we're going to take it to the other side. Reaching that leg up. Arms can be out to the sides or down alongside the hips. Breathe in and breathe out. Many people struggle with overactive hip flexors in this, and the key is not to bring the legs so close to your torso, which tends to happen if we need to bend the knees. And so we want to keep that knee out over the hip joint. Let's pause and reverse that circle. Good. And we've got one more. And now we'll just use our leg to bring ourselves back up to a seated position. Rolling back is the next exercise in our classical mat repertoire. So I'm having you sit a little tall to get ready, hands behind the thighs. Exhale, lower ribs fall towards the hip bones, shoulders glide away from the ears, heels peel up. You're going to take those feet off of the floor. Keep your heels fairly close to your hips and holding on to the backs of the thighs. Rock back, rock up. This is rolling back. You want to feel a nice, smooth roll on the back. Now, in the classical repertoire, the hands are on the front of the shin, and this does make it a little bit more challenging to get back up off of the mat. So explore which one works for you. The caveat to this is try not to fling the legs back, which you may or may not do intentionally. So we're going to roll back nice and easy, and we have single leg stretch. Head can be up, head can be down. If the head is down, the leg is higher. If the head is up, the leg can go lower. We will switch. Breathing in, breathing out. The lower the leg is, the more demanding this becomes. The higher you reach out of the shoulders, same thing. Okay, single leg stretch. There are lots of variations. The knee folds that I often teach in class can be a very nice version of single leg stretch. So take that if you need it. Otherwise, right from these single leg stretches, we're going to hug into double leg stretch. And it's just like it sounds. But let's start small. Bring the hands behind the head. We're going to tap the shoulders back, slide the legs out. Feel your abs start to really be engaged, back still down. Exhale. So double leg stretch is essentially a double crunch. And it starts here and reaches away and traditionally circles on the return. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice big burn here. 2 more times. 1 more time. And we hug those legs in and come on up to a seated position. So, opening the legs up about the width of the mat. Hands are going to be right out in front of you on your mat. And I want you to imagine that you're reaching your hands towards your feet while you're pulling your back in opposition. So we're gonna round the spine, the legs may straighten, we reach forward. As we're reaching forward, we're not trying to keep the back flat, we're actually flexed in the spine. And then we stack it all up, sitting nice and tall. Inhale. If you struggle to sit tall with straight legs, let them fold a little when you arrive at the top. Sit bones connected to the mat. Here we go. Exhale. And inhale. And one more time. Exhale. And inhale. And bringing those legs together, let's fold them in. So we're going to put those 8 things together in succession. Not a lot of them, just enough that you can see the classical version without any of the modifications, but you know those modifications. So make sure you use them as needed, okay? So you'll recall that we started our 100 here. We're gonna lift those legs, take a breath, exhale, reach it out. Breathing in and out, in and out, in and out. One more. This is the abbreviated version. And out. I'm gonna lower my legs, reach my arms back, take a breath. My legs are parallel now. I'm working hard not to feel strain back here, but there is gonna be a slight lightening of the back. So not an arch, but a little bit of lightness at the back of the waist. Exhale, roll yourself up. Reach over, lengthen up. You could bring those arms up, we dive back down. And this one seems to kind of pull your pants down a little bit, so if you're feeling a breeze, you might want to fix that. Last one. Good, so that was the roll up. Right after the 100 and right into the roll over. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll do just one more of those. And right from roll over, we're gonna go leg circle around and around and around and switch around and around and around and switch. Just doing 3 in each direction. Okay, remember your option was to keep that bottom knee bent. Decrease the size of the circle. And then right from here, we're gonna bring ourselves up, finding our position for rolling back. We roll, we return. We roll, we return. One more time. We roll, we return, and we go right back into one leg stretch. Breathing in. Last 2. Last one. Hug it in. Both legs. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. Bringing yourself up. Keeping those knees a little bit soft. And we find our spine stretch, which is a really great place to end after that sequence. Good. And 1 more. And there you have it. The first 8 exercises in the original Pilates mat repertoire done in more of a classical manner. If you have questions, feel free to ask. We'll be adding on each week, learning a sequence, and then seeing how it goes to put it together. So by the end of March, it will be the full 34 exercise mat, classical mat work. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week for Monday on the Mat.